Hello guys, Mr. Hugo here on Quick Maths Academy. Second video on direct proportion problems. Okay, it's number 5, exercise number 5. Cat bakes 8 sponge cakes for an event in her village hall. The recipe on the right will make 5 sponge cakes. Okay, so we have these ingredients here, and they are good for 5 sponge cakes. Work out how much of each ingredient she used. Okay, she wants to do 18. Okay, and we have the recipe for 5. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, let's one of the ways we are going to work out for each sponge cake how many ingredients she needs. Okay, so let's say this is for 5, so I know that for one sponge cake the flour I need is 200. Okay, let me put here one sponge cake, sponge cake. For this I will need 275 grams of flour divided by 5, because those 275 grams are for 5 cakes. Okay, so this is the flour, so 275 divided by 5 will give me 55 grams. Okay, 55 grams of flour. Okay, what about the butter? Well, the butter is exactly the same. Okay, so for one sponge cake I will also need butter, 55 grams. Okay, 55 grams of butter. Now sugar, for sugar I know that 220 grams are good for 5 sponge cakes. So if I do this division, it will give me that I need 44 grams of sugar, alright, for each cake. What about the eggs? Well, the eggs are, we have 5 for 5 cakes, so I need 1 egg for each cake. Okay, so the eggs will be 1 for 1 sponge cake. Okay, so okay, now that we have the ingredients for 1 sponge cake, we just have to multiply everything by 18 to have the ingredients needed for 18 sponge cakes. Okay, so we will have 18 times 55 grams for the flour, which will give me 990 grams of flour. Okay, we have 18 times 55 grams of butter, that will give me again 990 grams of butter. 18 times 44 grams of sugar will give me 792 grams of sugar, and 18 times 1 egg, which will give me 18 eggs needed. Okay, so that's one of the ways of doing it. Another way is always the 3 simple rule. Okay, I'm just going to make an example for the flour, for the first one. Alright, if let's just fill here, it's 990 for the flour, 990 for the butter, 792 for the sugar, and 18 eggs. Okay, so if we want to work out the flour with using a 3 simple rule and avoiding all this complicated thing, what we do is, if we have 270 grams of flour to 5 cakes, for 18 cakes, how much flour do I need? X grams of flour. Okay, so X will be, the denominator is always the 1 crossing the X, so will be 5, and X will be 275 times 18 divided by 5. Okay, and this will give me, the result of this operation will give me 990 directly. Okay, So this is for the flour. You can do the same for the butter. It's not needed because it's exactly the same quantity. You can do the same for the sugar. You can apply this same rule for the eggs. It will give you the same results, okay? Alright, let's move to the next one. The total cost of the ingredients for the 18 sponge cakes was 25.30. She cut each cake into 10 slices and sold the slices for 50p. How much profit did she make? Okay, so each cake goes for 10 slices. Okay, so 10 slices, one cake equals 10 slices, which equal 10 times 50p, right? Which is 5 pounds. Okay, so if she did 5 pounds with one sponge cake, it's and we have 18 sponge cakes, we have 18 times 5 pounds, and that is the sales. Okay, 18 times 5 pounds. This will give me 90. Okay, 90 pounds. Okay, 90 pounds, but now we have to subtract the cost of the ingredients, alright, because they are asking for the profit, okay, and if we have spent money on the ingredients, so it's not all profit. We gotta account how much did we spend in the ingredients. So we are going to do 90 minus 25.30. 25.30. Okay, 90 is the same as having 9.00, and they do this subtraction. 0 to 0 is 0, 3 to 10 is 7, we carry out 1, 6 to 10 is 4, we carry out 1, 3 to 9 is 6. Okay, so we have, this is indeed our profit. Okay, we had 90 pounds in sales, we spent 25.30 on the ingredients. Okay, so my profit was 64.70. Okay, 64.70. Okay, next exercise. The area of wallpaper in meters squared required to cover all the walls in a room is directly proportional to the perimeter of the room. Okay, a kitchen has a perimeter of 17 meters and 42.5 meters square of wallpaper is needed. Okay, so yeah, a bedroom has 55 square meters of wallpaper. What is the perimeter? This is the typical case where a three simple rule is amazing to fit this exercise, because I know that for 17 meters of perimeter I need 42.5 square meters of paper. Okay, so if I now have 55 square meters of paper, where is the perimeter? X. Okay, and my X is what? My X is always the denominator is the one crossing the X, so it's 42.5, and my numerator will be 17 times 55. Okay, and that will give me, let me work it out. So we have 17 times 55 divided by 42.5, that will give me 22. 22 what? 22 meters. Okay, because I'm on this side, the side of the meters of the perimeter. Okay, so 22 meters is the answer. Now, the other way of doing it, the complicated way, I can work out for each meter how much square meters I need. Okay, so what I do is I divide, or I do the other way around. If I have 42.5 meters squared, 42.5 meters squared for 17 meters. How much is for 1 meter? If we do this calculation, we have we have 2.5 meters squared. Okay, 2.5 2. Oh, okay, we have a problem here. I need to pause. Okay guys, continuing the video, I lost my work, but the answer using a 3 simple rule was 22 meters. Alright, and now we were doing the other way around. We were calculating, we were doing 42.5 meters squared divided by 17 meters, okay? And that will give me that for each meter I need 2.5 meters squared of wallpaper, okay? For each meter of perimeter I need 2.5 meters squared of wallpaper, okay? Now if I have 55 meters squared of wallpaper, what is the perimeter? Okay, so 2.5 meters squared times a certain number of, let's call it P, okay, will give me 55 meters squared. Okay, so how much is my P? Well, to calculate my P, what I do is I put the 2.5 in the other side as denominator. Okay, so my P will be 55 divided by 2.5. Okay, and that also will give me that the P, the perimeter, will be 22 meters. Okay, so any of the ways you do it, it will always be 22 meters. Alright, 22 meters. Sketch a graph on the axis below that shows the relationship between P and W. Okay, mark at least 2 points on your graph. Okay, so P varies from the higher value we have is 22. So let's make it to 30, 10, 20, 30. Okay, 10, 20, 30, and then we need to mark 22. Let's say 22 is here. Okay, 22. The other value we have is 17 for 42.5, so we need also the 17. We have 15 right here in the middle, so 17 will be here. 17. Okay, now we need to mark also 42.5, and the higher value we have for the square meters is 55. So let's do the x-axis till 60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Okay, now let's mark the points. Okay, we know that 17 is good for 17 meters of perimeter. We need 42.5. okay, so 17, that will be somewhere here, is good for, oh sorry, 17, that is 42.5 is here, okay, and this is for 17 meters of perimeter. Okay, so we'll have something like this. Okay, and the other we have is that 55 meters squared, which is right in the mid, right in the middle in here, will be good for 22, and 22 is here. Let's go with the 22. I'm trying to match the 55, okay? Oops. Now in a perfect world this all matches, okay? Another value we have is the 0, okay? For 0 meters of perimeter I need 0 meters squared, okay? So those three those 3 points, they must match up in the same line, okay? If they don't match up, it's just because this is a drawing made very clumsy. So okay, but let's see if we can line them up more or less, okay? Okay, if I start here, well, it's quite far indeed, so it's just my scale that is not good, okay guys? Probably I would say I lift up too much this 22, okay, but they line up. And you don't have to put 3 points, you just need 2. So you mark your 0 0, you mark your 1742.5, and you are good to go, okay? So forget this third one, okay? It's not but in an exam you can put the 0 and 1742.5, or you can put the 0 and 2255, okay? You choose what to do. But you can also put the 3, and if you do this in a grid paper, they will all line up together, okay? So okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Cheers.